Thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. I am Maria Moreau taking a live look outside at beautiful Metro Atlanta today. First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi will be joining us momentarily with a look at your forecast. But this is Catch Up Quick, so let's get you caught up on the stories making headlines. I want to start by taking you out to Griffin, and as you can see, this concerning video now causing quite the outrage. Police seen punching a Spalding County man non-stop, and it's all caught on tape. Now the victim's family demanding justice. Atlanta News First reporter Bridget Spencer in Griffin, where a rally supporting the suspect took place last night.
A bystander captured this video of Griffin police officers punching 22-year-old Andre Casey last weekend. His mother got a call that night with someone telling her what happened.
Two of the officers had their knees in his back. The third officers, I witnessed them punch his head, his face, and his ribs. He was just crying out.
Griffin police say they were called out initially about a man beating on a woman's door. When they arrived, they say Casey tried to run away.
He said, "I never resisted, Mama." One cop followed him, and then when the next cop came in, he said that's when the other cop who had the gun and the flashlight slammed him to the ground.
Police say, quote, Casey was given verbal commands to put his hands behind his back, but he refused, instead keeping his hands in front of his body. Several closed fist strikes were used, and the subject was eventually able to be detained.
I was so angry. I was hurt too. These are police officers, law enforcement who we trust.
Casey is facing charges of violation of bond conditions, obstruction, possession of firearm by a felon as well. But his family says that does not justify what they saw transpire.
So I know my son is not an angel, but he did. Nobody deserves that.
I don't care what the narrative, what the spin demons are trying to spin, they shouldn't have done it, no matter what he did.
Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
And President Donald Trump keeping his focus on immigration as more ICE operations being seen across the country. Many of those arrests happening right here in Metro Atlanta. Reaction to the federal immigration raids seem to be split with our own state lawmakers. A lot of Republicans saying they are in support of the crackdown, while some Democrats are calling it disturbing. Atlanta News First, Sarah Hammond is at the Atlanta Immigration and Customs Enforcement Field Office with the latest.
Yesterday, ICE agents arrested more than 1,100 people across the country, with almost 900 more detainers lodged against people already in custody. Now, an ICE spokesperson says operations are happening in Metro Atlanta near Buford Highway in Chamblee and in Brookhaven. And the mayor of Chamblee said in part in a statement, quote, "A person's behavior in our community is far more important than how they got here." After ICE officers detained a man at a Tucker church on Sunday, Democratic State Senator Kim Jackson called the scene disturbing. But Republicans like State Senator Blake Tillery say they are in favor of the crackdown.
And instead of waiting for him to not be at church, maybe be at his home, be somewhere else where there wouldn't be a large crowd of people to be terrified.
If you're going to commit a crime while you're here, we need you to go home. We don't need anybody else committing crimes against our citizens who are here illegally. And remember, coming here illegally in the first place is a crime itself.
Governor Brian Kemp posted on X his support of the crackdowns, while Democratic Congressman Hank Johnson calls the raids a, quote, grave mistake. From the Atlanta ICE field office, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
And funeral services will be held for the homeless man crushed to death by a City of Atlanta vehicle. The public viewing for Cornelius Taylor is scheduled for Sunday afternoon at the Willie Watkins Funeral Home on Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in Southwest Atlanta. Now, those memorial services will be held at that location, and then the next day, funeral services will be held at Ebenezer Baptist Church, just a few blocks away from where Taylor died. Now, he was found in a homeless encampment on Old Wheat Street late last week. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens announcing a citywide pause on those sweeps through similar encampments. So we have more information posted for you on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. But in the meantime, the topic of addressing homelessness in the city remains top of mind, with volunteers across Atlanta soon planning to spread out and gain insight into how many people are experiencing homelessness in our community. The count was recently rescheduled because of the winter weather. Atlanta News First Blake Devine reports from Atlanta City Hall.
This annual survey was supposed to take place last week, but it was put on pause because of temperatures in the teens as we even saw some snow. So today they will finally get going with the point-in-time count as hundreds of volunteers will head to homeless encampments, abandoned buildings, the woods, parks, bridges. They'll even look for people living in cars. The goal is to get a snapshot of the unhoused population by going out, head counting, and asking these people about their needs. It's mandated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, impacting how much federal funding communities receive to combat homelessness. We talked to Hope's Chief Development Officer, who says this week's work is critical.
And it helps us know, where do we need to spend the money? Where are the resources? Who is experiencing homelessness?
The Department of Housing and Urban Development says more than 12,000 people are currently homeless throughout the state of Georgia. And today, the head count is going on in North Fulton. Tomorrow, it'll take place in South Fulton. Reporting at Atlanta City Hall, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
And get ready to start feeling those temperatures warm up. But we are following really the biggest change ahead coming later this week. And to explain that is First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi.
Yes, thank you so much. We do. We have a First Alert weather day on Friday. So after some beautiful and warm weather on the way this week, which is something I think all of us can get behind after freezing the last couple of weeks. In fact, we had a handful of mornings in the teens. We had afternoons in the 30s. The forecast is definitely taking a turn for the warmer, but we have to also talk about a First Alert weather day on Friday. Of course, that's the end of the week. That's when a lot of you will probably be making some plans. So we do want to give you that early heads up so you can just prepare for what is to come. We will have widespread rain, maybe a few storms. The good news is it doesn't look like this will be a severe weather event for us. It's also not going to be a winter weather event for us. This does look like, as of right now, and this could very well change, this system has definitely shifted in its timing from when we first started watching it to now. But right now we're looking at late morning into the afternoon. So it'll very well impact the middle portion of your day, maybe for some of you that evening commute home on Friday, especially if you commute around 4 or 5 o'clock. But we'll be keeping an eye on that for you throughout the week. But as Maria was also talking about, warmer temperatures on the horizon. Here's a look at the Climate Prediction Center. Taking a look into the start of February, we are seeing that dark red take over really a lot of the lower 48, and that is, of course, above average temperatures. We haven't seen a temperature outlook like this in a while, and I think it will be much welcome. We're all going to thaw out, needless to say. For today, expect a lot of sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon, very similar to how we ended the weekend. High temperatures today climbing into the mid-50s, but at noon we'll be in the low 50s. If you have any lunch plans today, maybe on your lunch break you like to go outside and take a walk, it'd be a great day to do that. Just make sure you have at least a light jacket. And then going towards 3 o'clock, that's where we top out today. Again, 57 for the city of Atlanta. And then through the evening, we'll cool very gradually. Temperatures at 6 in the low 50s. And if you have any dinner plans tonight as you're making your way home a little later this evening, we'll be back in the mid-40s by 9. Here's a look at high temperatures area-wide. So just about everyone in the mid-50s this afternoon. South of the city, you'll be pushing 60 degrees. North of Atlanta, up in the mountains, you'll top out in the low 50s today, but everyone will see a lot of sunshine. It'll be a really gorgeous afternoon. Overnight tonight won't be frigid. It'll be cold. You'll definitely still need the coat tomorrow morning, with a lot of us dropping into the mid-30s, low 30s up in the mountains in the city of Atlanta will be in the low 40s. So make sure you still have your jackets with you tomorrow morning. But the next several days, what we'll be watching is a ridge of high pressure that will start to nudge in from the south in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. And that does impact our temperature at the surface. We see these a lot in the summertime, and sometimes they'll create what we call that ring of fire when thunderstorms kind of ride along the edge of it and we stay really hot. But this isn't necessarily going to make us hot, but it will warm us up going into the upcoming days. We'll stay above average Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with temperatures in the mid-60s tomorrow and into the upcoming weekend. Let's talk about that First Alert weather day. You'll see clouds build on Thursday, temperatures in the low 60s on Thursday. And then Friday morning, notice rain could start to enter into far northwest Georgia with that widespread rain for the afternoon. And as I mentioned, some of the trailing showers could impact the early evening commute, especially if you're south of Atlanta, but we'll be fine-tuning that timing for you. Either way, that front clears by Friday night, so if you have any Friday evening plans, you're good to go, and the weekend looks great. We'll see a lot of sunshine, and take a look at this on our First Alert 7-day forecast. we're going to have temperatures in the mid 60s. Just beautiful. So if you don't have outdoor plans, you don't have weekend plans, I suggest you start making some. Here's a look at that first 7-day forecast. Mid 50s today and sunshine. We'll have mornings at the 40s, so our mornings will be a lot more mild. In fact, our mornings will be warmer than some of our afternoons were last week. And then tomorrow, we'll see a lot of sunshine in mid 60s. Cloudy skies on Thursday, mostly cloudy skies. I think we'll see some sunshine on Thursday with temperatures in the low 60s. That first alert weather day Friday, rain will be widespread. Not looking at severe weather. We're not looking at winter weather. Temperatures still in the low 60s, but that cold front really isn't going to cool us down. In fact, we're going to be warmer going into the weekend with all the sunshine. Temperatures in the mid 60s Saturday and Sunday, and yes, you are reading that right. We have our first 70-degree day since New Year's Eve on the way. That would be next Monday. A forecast I think we can all get behind. The rain isn't going to ruin our Friday night plans, and the weekend looks spectacular, and we got a 70-degree day. Not a lot to complain about on this 7-day forecast. All things considered, we've had some very frigid temperatures the last few weeks. All right, everyone, enjoy the day today. Enjoy the warmer weather this week. We'll continue to update you on the timing of that rain for our First Alert Weather Day Friday in the First Alert Weather app, so be sure to have that handy. And until then, we'll catch you next time.